Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So today I am going to discuss problem from the lead code, and the problem title is sliding window maximum. So this is a hard problem, and before starting this problem, first of all I would like to give a shout out to three online blogs or videos. One is so now this is I will explain you like why this is a sparse table problem and why we are going to use the sparse table in this. But I would like to give the shout out to the first thing to this video, which is made by Tushar Roy based on the sparse table algorithm. Secondly, these two online articles, one is from the Geeks for Geeks and another is from this Adelaide.org. So I would highly recommend you to go through these three things, this video, then these two articles, and after that once you come back to this problem, rest of the things would be a cakewalk for you. Okay, this is my personal experience and based out of I am sharing this. Okay, so what we are given in this problem, so we are given an integer array that is a nums, and there is a sliding window of size k which is moving from very left to the array to the very right. You can only see k numbers in the window each time sliding window moves right by one position, and what we have to return is maximum sliding window. Okay, so let's take an example, it will give us the more clarity. So this is the nums array which contains these elements and the window size is 3. So what we have to do, we have to start from the first element, that is a 0th index, and we have to take these many elements in each window. So first it will contain these three elements and it will find the maximum one out of these three, so which is 3. So we are printing this 3 value in the array. Next, the window will be slided to the right by one position, and we will get this array 3 minus 1 minus 3. Again the max is 3, so we will output print the 3 value, then again slide it by 1, so this will be the array minus 1 minus 3 5, so 5 is the maximum. So this way we will keep moving to the right as long as we get the perfect size of 3. Okay, and every time we will find the maximum value from that window size. Okay, so same thing we have to do. You can go through the rest of the examples and you will get to know the same idea is used. Okay, now there are few observations before going into the coding part. So first thing, you can see the integer array nums which is fixed, and there is a sliding window of size k. So what I can see over here is the elements in the arrays are not getting updated, those are fixed, or I would say immutable. Okay, only the window position is slided to the right by 1. So here, like to solve this problem, we can solve it like by multiple techniques. The first solution is the brute force solution. We can have the for loops, and every time we can iterate through the window size by keeping the outer for loop to the ith value will hold the nums current position, and from that position we will iterate 3, here the size is 3, so 3 for the next 3 elements. So similarly we will do for all the elements, but it will give us the TLE. Okay, and that solution won't work over here. So another approach, when we consider this, it's kind of here we are having the sizes of this window size. Okay, and what we can say, this window size is nothing but the range. So here we are having the different ranges. First starts from this 0 to 3, so 0 to 2, I'm talking about the index position, then this 1 to 3, then 2 to 4, and so on. So, and out of that every time I have to find the range maximum thing. Okay, so it is a kind of range maximum query, and we have a very nice data structure that is a sparse table, and which we can use when the array size, or sorry, the array elements are static and those are not changing. I mean, there is no update operation. So in that case we can go with the sparse table concept or the sparse table data structure, and that way we can solve this problem. Okay, now let me show you the code part. So here again I am iterating the same thing. So before looking at the code part, I would highly recommend you to go through these three, like this video and these two articles, so it will give you more clarity like how these things are performed. Okay, so we are given a function that is a max sliding window. It contains two inputs parameter. One is the nums array and another is the window size, that is okay, and the output has to be integer array. Okay, so initially what I am doing is when we have to create a sparse table, so the basic idea is we have to form the matrix of size, the length of my array, and the log of length of my array to the base 2. Okay, so the same thing I am doing here. I am calculating the n, that is the number of elements in my array or the length of my array. Then I am calling this log function. So basically is this log function I am calculating log to the base 2. So that's why I'm just performing this simple formula to calculate the base 2 value for that log, that is math.log divided by math.log2. It will give me the logarithmic value for this column. So in this case, like if it contains like the 8 elements, so based on that, like for this the number of rows will be 8 for my 2D matrix, and for my log of 8 to the base 2 would be, I guess it is going to be the 4. Just a minute, let me quickly see. Sorry, it is a 3 value. Okay, so the C will be, or the there will be 3 columns. Okay, so it is 8 by 3 matrices. Okay, so after that I have to pre-compute my sparse table or my lookup table, I would say. Okay, so it will calculate like whatever is the maximum value for each of the elements. So I will give you idea for the sparse table over here. So what we do is basically the pre-computation part, or to form the sparse array, the time complexity is n log n, and for the query operation it contains big O of 1. Okay, so that's why the sparse table is the best data structure which we can use to solve this problem. Okay, so in the sparse table it works based on the binary values. So what happens is like this is with okay, let me show you this diagram, this thing. Okay, so let us consider this example. For example, we are given this integer array. So in this case this would be the array. So what will happen initially when the computation happens, so it forms this two-dimensional matrix. So it will form this like whatever the number of elements are there. So in this case we have total 9 elements, so it will form the 9 rows, and this log of 9 is going to be a value of 4. So this would be the 4. Okay, so here in this case the matrix is having the 8 rows and 3 columns in our case. Okay, and this log n plus 1 which is going to be 3 plus 1 4. So that's why like 8 by 4 matrices. Okay, and after that when we calculate the results, okay, so initially we will keep all the elements at this 0th index, so or the 0th column for each of the rows. So you can see like these 7 2 3, all the elements are mapped against this row, and this for the 0th column. After that what happens is whenever this j value So basically it is a to the power, like we calculated the power of j. So initially our j was 0, now our j becomes 1. So what happens is, uh, to calculate 2 to the power j is 1. So to calculate 2 to the power 1, it is nothing but in a binary. Let me show you this thing. So for example, when j is equal to 1, and if we calculate like 2 to the power 1, so in the to represent it, it contains the value 2. So how to get that value? So basically it is nothing but 2 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 0, which is going to be 1 plus 1, which is nothing but the 2. So initially it calculates this 1, takes the 1 value, then this 3 value, and out of this 1 comma 3 it picks the maximum value. So the same thing I am doing over here. So basically this what it does is, we can increment the j value like to the power of j as long as it is lesser than n. So in this case n is 8, so the max value would be here, j value would be 3. Okay. Secondly, what this thing does, so as I said, if you take a look at this diagram or this picture, so consider my or here I have mentioned this thing. So consider like I value is 2 and the j value is also 2. So in that case, if I want to find, and n value is in this case is 8. Okay, so if I shifted j by 2 places, so it is going to be the 4. 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 minus 1 5. Okay, so it will calculate the elements in the range of 2 to 5. So it will take these many elements. Okay, these 4 elements when 2 to the power is 2. Okay, because if I want to represent 2 to the power 2, so it is nothing but it would be like this thing, like 2 to the power 2, which is nothing but 4. And to represent 4, I can split my numbers into 2 to the power 1 to 2 to the plus 2 to the power 1, which is nothing but 2 plus 2, it is going to be 4. Okay, so first it will take these 2 elements, and again it will take these 2 elements. Okay, so in this formula what I am doing is I am just calculating the max value. Take the elements from these this first half and from this next first half. So that is, this formula does the same thing. Okay, so here your I is also 2, so 2 comma 2 minus 1. So take the value from the second position, which is this one, and one step next, because it is 2 1 sparse of 2 comma 1. So these are the values. Similarly, when I is 2 and this j, which is again the 2 minus 1 is 1, so shifted by 1, so this will give me the 2 plus 2, that is a this is a 2 plus this is going to be the 2, and this is also going to be the 2 value, that is a 4. Okay, this 4 and this 1. So here it will take for this from 4, again take the 1 element, so it will contain these 2 elements. Okay, and if you take the indexes 0 1 2 3 4 5, so out of that it will take these elements. This starts from 2 to 1 2 comma 1, and this starts from 4. It will pick up these elements. Okay, and out of that it will try to pick up the max value. So this way it will form the sparse table. Once it is done, next thing what I am doing is I am calculating the answer array size. So to calculate the answer size, this is the formula, n minus k plus 1. So for example, in this I am having the 8 elements, so 8 minus 3 is 5 plus 1, so that is going to be my array size. Okay, so here also you can see count the number of elements, it is going to be the 6. Okay, similarly, let's say n is equal to 1, k is also 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0, and plus this 1, so my array size would be, output array size would be 1, which gives me the perfect array size. Okay, once it is done, for each of the block that is I plus k minus 1. This is the formula, I plus k minus 1, because this is the zero base index. So first it will take these elements, first three elements, then next three elements, and every time I have to perform the query operation on that, and I have to try to find out the maximum value from that window. Okay, and in this query what I am doing is this is the typical formula for the sparse table. So first, like whatever is my higher value to the lower value, so in this case this is the window size, so the 0 is the low and high is 2. So 2 minus 0 plus 1, which is going to be 3. So L value would be 3 over here, and log of L is going to be 1.58, something like that. So again it would convert into the integer value. Okay, and once it is done, it will calculate the first half. So in this one, what would happen is, first it will try to calculate this is going to be the key value, going to be for this log L 3 is, it is going to be the 2 value. Okay, and in this one what would happen, first it will try to take the value from this 1 comma 3, this thing, and secondly it will try to take this value, okay, which is a -1. Okay, and out of these three values it will try to pick up like this 1 comma 3, then from 1 comma 3, of course the 3 is maximum, and from -1 comma 3, 3 is the max one. So out from this thing it will return the 3 as the max value, and it will add into this array. Okay, similarly it will perform the query operation on all the remaining window sizes, as long as it is having the in the ranges. Okay, so for example it would go till this point, that is the index of I is going to be the 5 value. So 5 minus, sorry, so when I is 5, so this 8 minus 5, sorry, 8 minus 3 is 5 plus 1, 6. Okay, so it will cover these elements. Okay, so once it goes beyond the window size value, because there are no more elements which are perfectly getting fit into the window value, after that this for loop will exhaust and it will return the answer value. So it is slightly difficult to explain these formulas, because these are like 2 to the power j operations, and the idea is every time whenever you get the j value, so it tries to split it, whatever the j, when you get the value like j is equal to 1 2 3, so every time it splits your j, the final value, into the chunks. Okay, so for example if it is 2, then it is going to be like 2 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 0. When it is 4, then it is like 2 to the power 1 plus 2 to the power 1. So it will take like first half from 0 comma 1, and second half from 2 comma 4. So that way it will keep on building your sparse table. So for example, first it will just add all these nums value over here, then in the next iteration it will check like this diagram is for the minimum one. So you can see from 7 and 2 it is picking this 2 value, then from this 2 3 it is picking this 2 value, from 3 0 0 is the minimum, it is picking this one, again from this 0 5 0 is the minimum, picking this 0, then 5 10 it is 5, then 10 3 this is 3, 13 sorry 3 12 this 3 is minimum, from 12 18 the 12 is minimum. Similarly it will again perform minimum operation on this 1th column, and it will output those things into the next second column, that is a j plus 1 column, and this way it will keep on moving to the right, and it will form your sparse table. Once the sparse table is formed, after that this is the thing you have to do, like where you just have to calculate the number of elements in your ranges, how many elements are there, and based on that you have to get the log of those values. So the first part would contain your low to that log or k value, and next half would contain the k plus 1 values, that is a low plus l minus 2 to the power k. So that way you would get the maximum value. So let us run this program and see the output. Yeah, so you can see the solution is accepted, and let us have a look at the number of test cases it has covered. So you can see it has covered all the 60 test cases. So I would be uploading the solution of this problem on the GitHub, and I will provide the GitHub link in the description, so you can refer that solution while solving this problem.